All right, guys, it's been a while since my last video. Happy New Year, by the way. A lot has been going on, and I'm going to get to that in other videos, but everything's great, actually. The only bad thing is that I sold my car. I sold my Tesla last month, and I'm glad I did. But, like, I should have bought the car first and then sell the Tesla after, so I wouldn't be walking and Ubering all over the place. But thankfully, I work from home, but it's just a pain in the ass. But tomorrow, I'm picking up my car, my new used car for me. And the only great thing about it is that it is paid in full. And it's the first time in like 25 years since I've been like in and out of car loans and leases. And just I never learned because I've always wanted to keep up with the Joneses. But now it's over. It's done. And I'm going to be focusing on my channel again. Once again, Happy New Year. Happy 2026. And we're starting off. Let me just play this in the background, bro, because you guys already know what's going on with Highguard. And it's not looking good. And in one day, while I have this playing in the background, hold on. We're down 70. What was it? Right here. We're down, let me see, 75%. We're down 75%, and it is actually bad. And I asked it, listen, what are the chances of a game like this that debuted on its first day to lose 75% of its player base in less than 10 hours? And it's like, it said very slim to none. And this is something that like should have released 10 years ago, to be honest with you. And, you know, you can, these developers, they throw in these catchphrases like, oh, from the makers of Halo, from the makers of Titanfall, from the developers of Apex Legends. And it doesn't mean anything once you leave the studio. You're off to do your own thing. And, for the most part, it looks okay, but 3v3 on these giant maps. I spent the entire day watching streams, and it looks like it's such a chore. I mean, first, as soon as the match starts, you're fortifying your base, and that's kind of cool. So it's borrowing from like Fortnite elements, and then with the planting of the two bombs. Once you breach the enemy base, you see here, right? Once you breach that dome, and you put that thing in the whatever it's called. I don't even know at this point, because I'm so confused at what this game is trying to be. So you have like Fortnite elements, building elements, fortification elements, right? And that's actually right there. That big sledgehammer thing is like from Reinhardt of Overwatch, right? And so it copies from a lot of games. And this here is that rush mode from Battlefield. When did they introduce Rush? During Bad Company 2, I believe. Well, anyways, it tries to do so many things, and I'm looking at it, and it's just safe danger. It's like they got together in a room, and they all thought about like, what can we be pushing in 2026 when we go for our launch? And the only person that has been promoting this game in the last couple of days, if not the week or so, past week, is Jeff Keighley, because he put his name on the line. He has his reputation on the line. After all, we all saw that the Game Awards closed out with Highguard as like this whole peak debut world premiere, right? And so nobody would have ever thought that a world premiere would be an unheard of team, an unheard of, unproven license IP, free to play, no less. And like we didn't hear anything of it. It's just like it came out of nowhere, right? And so this game should have had several closed betas and then open betas, and then just get player feedback. What do you guys like? What you guys don't like? And we're sick and tired of like, oh, we're hearing all these posts from these corporate, jargon, like corpo posts from these developers talking about, we hear you loud and clear. Like, dude, this is 2026. If I fucking hear that shit again, I swear I'm never buying new games again, dude. And you see like this whole trend of people moving away from live service. Listen, if it isn't for flying people out, remember, you don't have to exchange money. Money doesn't have to be exchanged. It could be a form of flying you out, putting you up in hotels, giving you a per diem, like a card, like that's loaded with funds for like Uber, for like go out to eat. I don't know, Subway, Panera's, you name it. So cash money, and also a copy of the game. And maybe if you're a really big influencer, they'll give you a couple copies to give out to your viewers during streams, but that is a form of payment. And guess what? You still have to report that to the IRS. It's a form of compensation. So nothing is for free. So when you see these like events in Los Angeles or New York or wherever it's held, and you see a bunch, like it's gotten to the point where we already know the normal faces of like, oh, look who's there, look who got flown out, look who got put up in a hotel, right? This is access journalism, whether you like it or not. And, we have gone past the point of developers and publishers flying out journalists because they themselves have to explicitly express the fact that they were either compensated or had ultimate access to these events. But no, now they're getting slick because they see that us, people that stream, that make content on YouTube and social media, have a bigger impact, have a bigger voice, and a farther reach, right, to bring in new players. And so this is like the biggest mistake of 2026 so far, and it's June and January, and so much has happened today. I wanted to cover so much of gaming today, right? So many things happening just today, dude, and it's only Monday, but this is something that I was looking for. And then a couple of days ago, I'm like thinking, this is going to be, if it's from the makers of Apex, look at me, falling for that line. But if it comes from former devs that worked on Apex, chances are it's going to have kernel level anti-cheat. And sure enough, it requires secure boot on Windows. And I'm on Linux, right? So I could even play this if I wanted to because it doesn't work on Linux. And I got to tell you, part of me wants to buy maybe like a used PS5 so I can, because keep in mind, you can still connect your keyboard and mouse to a PS5 and play that way. That would be my preferred way of playing, especially a first-person shooter, right, that you see here. And these mechanics, as far as a PS5 is concerned, I'll just play it just for games that I can't access on Linux, right, as opposed to dual booting. Nobody wants a dual boot over here. But I see these mechanics, and they're just so dated. And these hero shooters, and I'm looking at this, right? I spent hours today staring at my screen at different. I had Shroud over here. I had I saw some of Tim the Tatman's gameplay over here. I saw some of Dr. Disrespect here, and I'm thinking it's just not it. And especially here when you're breaking these like Jade compound assets or whatever, it's like there's like a mini game within a mini game. I'm like, dude, there's like so much to do, dude. It's planning the bomb, it's getting resources, is opening up these cases, and there's no individuality. It's just too much of so much, right? Bundled up in like one piece, and it becomes nothing. It's like a jack of all trades is a master of nothing, right? And then I think about like the developer commentary of Team Fortress 2. And I say what you want about Team Fortress 2. The game is already like 18 and a half years old. And I have several hundred, I'm approaching like 1,000 hours in TF2. And there was this one commentary in one of the videos. And I implore you to just download TF2, not to play it, but just to go into the game and listen and just watch, or go on YouTube, watch the developer commentary, and listen to their philosophy. And this is like back in the mid 2000s, dude, like when this game came out. Listen to their philosophy of how important it was for them to design the characters to where you only see, if and when you only see at a distance, like the silhouette of a character, oh shit, that's the heavy, that's the demo, that's the spy, that's the sniper, that's the scout. Like, it at like a fucking moment's notice, right? And none of these games today have that like individuality, uniqueness, and magic. And so this is a game that like, it looks 10 years old, to be honest with you. Like the concepts, and look at these like textures, bro. This is Unreal Engine 5. It doesn't look that great. I'm hearing that it like the performance isn't that great either. And so like when you look at something like this, and then the lack of communication for their so-called community that they're trying to build, right? How can you do that when you're like fucking radio silent for 6 weeks, dude? 6 fucking weeks, you're radio silent. Nobody knows what's going on. You saw the memes all over X. You saw the memes all over the socials. People making video about it, like, Earth to fucking Highguard. Do you guys exist? Are you guys alive? And sure enough, let me pause this here. You go to this to their video. This is their official channel, and you had their official reveal trailer, and in today's official launch showcase, which is the video that we're seeing here. And then out of nowhere, these people, they fucking bombarded their channel with 37, I repeat, 37 uploads. And this, I'm saying to myself, yo, this is something that you guys could have done like in the weeks leading up to this. You guys could have had like an open beta, like a final hurrah to say, goodbye to 2025. And, hey, we'll see you guys in 2026 when the game comes out, as a nice like thank you, and build up that hype, build up that momentum, get all that feedback of what didn't work with an open beta across all platforms, across all consoles and PC, right? And then say, holy shit, we have probably maybe 3 weeks, or maybe we should delay by like a month or so, because a lot of the feedback is really good. It's coming from like well-known players that play first-person shooters that have really good ideas. And oh shit, they're right. The maps are too big for 3v3. Maybe a 5v5 is perfect. And I'm looking at the gameplay today, and I'm like saying, where is everybody? Like, granted, they had server issues on launch day, totally expected, bro. But when you look at this, I mean, come on. We are bleeding. Look at this. This is more than 75%. Though they're never going to recover. This will never happen. Check this out. Check out this scenario. For a free-to-play debut game that loses 75 of its peak player base on day one, the odds of organically regaining that peak are usually single-digit percentages. Day one collapse usually signals bad first impressions, streamer churn out, algorithm punishment. Steam will actually throttle you once you fall out of the algorithm, right? And so it shows a couple examples here. And No Man's Sky was an actual disaster on launch. But guess what? No Man's Sky was a single player experience, procedurally generated worlds, right? Now it did come with a price point and a price, but they grabbed all that feedback, all that negativity, all those insults, all those fucking daggers that were thrown at poor guy's fucking back, and he was like, taking it for the team. And sure enough, it's one of the most, how do I say this? Like, it's one of the biggest comebacks in fucking gaming history, dude. Like, now they have a rabid fan base, but this is not going to happen. This is not going to happen. What doesn't bring players back? Minor balance patches. We're listening dev posts, slow anti-cheat rollouts, content drip without a solid core. So it's over. So for example, to regain original peak, maybe 5 to 10%. And to stabilize at a healthy base, 25 to 30%. So let's say if they stick around here for a while, they make some changes, they add 5v5 because it's needed, or make the maps smaller, right? And the problem with a game like Highguard that has so many moving parts and so many like mechanics, is that it tries to be too many games in one. Like, this could have been a great arena shooter with maybe just make it like a rush mode, right? Like where it just like in Battlefield with fantasy high art. But when you look at like the characters, they're very safe danger. They're very generic. I mean, I forget the name. A game is skipping me. It's skipping my head. It was like I forget what that first person shooter was, where you actually jumped and you skied the terrain. If you guys can type it into the comments, I forget what that was. It was by Hi-Rez Studios, I believe. Damn, hold on. Let me make an edit here and check out this one. Hi-Rez. All right, guys, this is the game. It was called Tribes Ascend, and like you had to be really, really good. This is more like of a capture the flag type of game, but you had to be really good at this, and it had a very high. I mean, look at this gameplay, bro. It had a very, very high skill ceiling, and it wasn't for everybody. And I guess that's why it didn't work out, because it was very niche. I remember this map, but you had to like know the engine's limitations and how to strafe and how to like glide and fuck. It was insane, dude, right? But I look at this gameplay, and when I look at like the gameplay of Highguard, I'm like, yo, it kind of looks the same. It's like they borrowed, because I think Tribes was Unreal Engine 3 or 4, maybe 3, because that game came out in 2012, I believe, and there was another one that came after. But It's just not. It just looks so safe in corporate, and a big fumble too. A big fumble was the fact that they didn't. The fact that it is not only kernel level anti cheat, but requires secure boot. So that means it doesn't work on Linux. And this is the year that the Steam machine comes out, right? And if the Steam machine, if Valve's Steam machine sells like, bro, I'm talking about just 10% of what the Steam Deck sold, instant success. Instant success and money printing for Valve. So that means that more eyeballs, more people are coming to over to Linux because that's what the Steam machine is all about to begin with. I mean, if you buy a Steam machine and put Windows on it, I mean, you just don't get it. It's the antithesis of what Valve was trying to do with Linux. That this is the whole point. You're free to do whatever you want. You can put Windows on it, but why would you? Like seriously, why would you? Right? So it's such a huge miss from this studio here to remove secure boot, and not because we already know that secure boot and kernel level anti cheat is not 100% effective against cheaters. So you just can't blame it. You just can't say, oh, well, we don't want cheaters. We don't want Linux because cheaters, right? That excuse doesn't fucking work anymore. So this is a big mistake. And right now that they're bleeding so many players, right? They're at 23. Jesus Christ, every time I refresh this page, it's like going, oh my God, 22, 2, dude. We're talking about 76, probably 77% day one. It's over. So I'm not trying to piss on this game. It's just that I kind of was looking forward to it. I didn't know the exact specifications of its anti-cheat. I know it was going to have an anti-cheat, of course, but I didn't know secure boot. Nobody knew secure boot until today. Till today, actually. And kernel level anti-cheat until today we figured out. And this is the problem with not having an early beta or closed beta, invite only, get the ball rolling, get people talking about it, right? Get people excited about it, getting feedback, making changes. Oh shit, they're listening. Today, guess what? What is it? Deadlock had an update, and they debuted another new character. 80,000 fucking people online right now, dude. Right? And the beauty of Valve, granted, they have through Steam, they have the biggest video game platform in the world. 100 in, I believe, 40 or 42 million players concurrent every month. That's a powerhouse. So just imagine if they just do, I ran the numbers on ChatGPT. You guys can do the same. If they just do 5%, dude, if they sell 5% of its player base, if they sell Steam machines, it's a wrap. It's only a matter of time before every single developer and every single publisher falls in place and says, yo, it's a fucking flick of a switch. Let the people have it, because who's going to put and leave money on the table and say no to that revenue stream? It makes mathematical sense. These guys can't just say, oh, well, unless, wait a minute, conspiracy hat here, right? Like I was saying, who is going to leave money on the table? It would be very dumb to do so, especially a small team like this, Wild Light Entertainment, to say, no, we don't want Linux players, because even though they just sold 5, 6, 7 million units of Steam machines, think about that, dude. If each player says, hey, I want to try your game, and then like 60% of those 5 million players that bought a Steam machine decide to spend money, microtransactions on your IP, any money is good money. It pays for the servers, it pays for the staff, it pays for a skeleton crew to keep the game going. But at this rate, I mean, let's go back to ChatGPT. It said that at this rate, it'll be a slow rollout, and soft shutdown within 6 to 12 months, which is very common for first-person free-to-play shooters. So that is Highguard, guys. And I was going to talk about this, how Proton today, they released version 10.4, 10.0-4 release, right? And more games. Look at this. I mean, these might not be the games that you're playing, but they're on a lot of people's libraries, including hundreds and thousands of games that are now available on Linux. And the only thing that is kind of holding Linux back is kernel level anti-cheat and secure boot, which does not work on Linux. And why would you want anything kernel level on your operating system? Because it's a matter of security. Do you understand? So it's very important that you guys really, really understand that. I was going to cover this, maybe not. I do want to say how you know, the fact that Highguard is bleeding games and Highguard is like, there was another game that kind of coincides. I forget what it was called, and they're getting heavily criticized for its like strict censorship of mods and other things in character creation, and it's not letting you. So 2026 will be the year that gamers are going to be fighting back. We're really going to be fighting back with our wallets. And the reason why I picture this is Playground Games, and um, these are the developers behind the new Fable. And this is, I mean, it's all women. And so the reason why I talk about this is because remember, Fable was the trailer was first introduced in 2023. I forget what month exactly. And the protagonist was a female with no confirmed from the devs that there was going to be a character creation until yesterday, or when this debuted. I believe it was Saturday. When did this debut? This was 4 days ago on January 22nd, which was Thursday, the Xbox Developer Direct of 2026, which they talked about 4 new games coming out. And the reason why I say that is because remember, it was supposed to be a female protagonist. They got a fucking shit ton of like backlash over that. And remember, they had to postpone the game. But the one thing that they didn't postpone, even though now it is confirmed that we do have a character creation, is the fact that they left in the female walking animation. And I want you guys to know, I mean, you guys have already seen this, but I want you guys to see this.
There are more than 1,000 of them, and every single one is unique. Each of them has a name, a role, a daily routine, and
look at him like, and it sounds kind of gay that I say this, but look at him like fucking shaking that thing out, dude. Like moving side to side. They left the female animation in the guy. You could tell this is a dude, right? 1400, supposed to be 1400 AD Europe. Look how he's moving.
And every single one is unique. Each of them has a name.
Look at him throwing that thing out like that.
And their own personality. You could follow any one of them for
This is a female animation, and they forgot to leave that out. Now, if they're hearing this and the countless of other videos that were made specifically on this part right here, because this went super viral on X yesterday, they have to change this. Because if they don't, and if they leave, for example, a feminine gait on a male body, and if they purposely leave that, and well, look at this lady right here. She's like walking like a dude. Look at this.
And every single one is unique.
She's walking like a dude. He's walking like a female. It's completely inverted ideology. I mean, this is what players don't want, right? Because let me tell you something. This game looks absolutely gorgeous, dude. The new Fable, the reboot, looks absolutely phenomenal. And you guys just can't ruin the experience by having these agenda-driven initiatives and ideologies within your game. Just fucking stop it, bro. We're not going to do this in 2026. All right, guys. And to finish off today's video with this unfortunate catastrophe that we're witnessing before our very eyes, we're now down to 21,852 players. And that is a loss of 77.6%. This is, they're never coming back from this. It's impossible no matter what they do, because then that would mean a massive influx of just funds and monies into an already dying project in which players are leaving for greener pastures. And so it's pretty much over. And it's sad. It saddens me to say this, to see this, because you can tell that at least some effort, they've been working on this since late 22, early 23, when Unreal Engine 5 was already in the field and developers were working with us. But this does not look good. This is not good for a first day debut, and probably they'll never achieve the success and the numbers with their original debut of 97,249 players. But I guess we'll see. I mean, miracles do happen, brothers. Miracles do happen. So stay tuned.